What's up, you guys? Welcome back to Brunch with DESB. Happy Sunday. I am curious. Sound off in the comments, sound off on my DMs, sound off somewhere right away. Are we liking a more get to it intro? Because I kind of took out my intro music, and I'm just kind of curious if you guys are like vibing with it, if we feel, hey, I liked a little second to get situated, and then like listen, what are the vibes? What's going on? How are we feeling? Welcome back to Brunch with DESB. I'm your host, Des, also known as DESB. And the B stands for branding because I'm still so undecided about branding this podcast again. I don't know. Maybe I'm just at this spot right now where I'm having like an identity crisis. I'm going into my third child, Oh my God, please edit that out. You know what I mean? Like I'm going into the end of my third pregnancy with my third child. I'm 29 now. Cheers to that. Just popped an Alani. And maybe I'm just like, am I even DESB anymore? Like, I don't know. Like, why am I being so weird? Are we? Listen, I thought the solar eclipse was supposed to give me power back, not take it away. Okay. And ever since the eclipse happened, if anything, I feel more lost than ever. Not really, just kind of discombobulated. It's been a crazy week. So I hope y'all are having a great day. I hope that you enjoy being here. I hope that you can escape reality for a little bit with me and enter into sub-reality. We have some advice today, which I don't know about you. I love listening to other people's problems. Okay. Oftentimes we can look at someone's problems and go, wow, that isn't a problem at all. However, problems are relative. So I absolutely love getting advice columns from you guys because I love sharing my unsolicited opinion. Okay. Like at the end of the day, I'm not a therapist. I'm not a doctor. I am a 29-year-old lost girl who's pregnant for the third time. I have no rights to be giving y'all advice. But you guys listen to it, and I personally love to give it anyway. I do think I'm wise beyond my years. I'm better at giving advice than taking my own, okay? So you guys are going to get some nuggets today. We also have some pop culture to talk about, life updates, just chatting, which, again, is my favorite part about what I do here on the podcast is it's just that. It is truly just chatting. Like, this is a place I get to escape for an hour. You get to escape for an hour. I get to escape from my kids for an hour. It's just a good place. I'm sorry. So if you're watching on YouTube right now, I am still in my bed. This is just really where I'm calling home base right now. It's cozy. It's my big comfy couch vibes. If you guys listened to last week's episode, thank you for commemorating that show with me. But this is just like my space to vibe right now. It's my only time I really get to be in bed outside of like when I wake up and go to sleep. And there is kind of just something calming here. I'm in like the opposite side of the house too, where like the kitchen is, to where I don't get a lot of feedback audio wise. It's just a good vibe right now. So, I am exposing the state of our bed. We don't make our bed. I don't know if any of you guys do. Is that really a thing anymore? Like, I feel like when you reach adulthood at a certain age, like, do we really make our fucking beds? I feel like I maybe did that. I know for sure I did that when I lived in Florida. I enjoyed kind of getting out of bed, brushing my teeth, doing my skincare, and then I would come back, put the pillows back up, etc. Is this just parenthood? I don't know, but I haven't touched my bed. Wyatt and I also sleep with like different blankets. This is marriage, like it is just one of those things. This is my cozy, comfy blanket I always sleep with. I also am a sweater at night, especially when pregnant. So this is where we're at, but welcome back. This is definitely exposing me to maybe, upgrade. Maybe upgrade like a duvet or something, but I'm still using my rest comforter, literally REST. I don't know if I have a code for them anymore. I did have a code for 30% off. This is my favorite comforter. It's actually a cooling comforter, and it has saved me during pregnancy sweats and postpartum night sweats, which are no joke. So anyways, 28 weeks pregnant by the time you're listening to this, almost 29 by the time you're listening to this again. We're popping. Okay. I was looking back at videos of like little clips of my podcast from even just, 6 weeks ago, 2 months ago, back in like February or something like that. It is crazy how our bodies change. Like weight gain, which then like changes the like look of your face and your body. And just like anything, you don't see it happen until you like look back and you're like, holy fuck, I'm big. Who's coming in? What's wrong? You hurt your butt? What happened?
Let's make this noise.
You wanted to make noise?
Yeah.
This is an impromptu. So it's funny how quickly like our bodies change, and you know, we just look different, you know, and it comes to this point where I start to feel like Jabba the Hutt, you know, that fat fuck in Star Wars, where he just is like this big fat blob of like green. I don't know, he's like a monster. So anyway, that's kind of how I'm feeling, and to know that I still have like 11 weeks is crazy. But it's also going to go by so fast. And at this point, like, I'm so tired of telling people I'm due July, because I'm due July 4th, okay? Will I actually make it to July 4th? I very much highly doubt it. I really do. With that being said, I'm going to just start telling people I'm due in June, because the amount of comments I've gotten from women in real life that are like, are you sure there's not 2 in there? Oh, you have till July? You're big, you know, whatever. Unfathomable, this pregnancy, which has also led me to really understand like how differently I have been like carrying this pregnancy, which is like so fucked up for anyone to ever comment on. Like, it's probably one of the most terrible things to like say to a pregnant woman is like, it's just not hard to ask, hey, like, when are you due? And then to go, you look amazing, like, best of luck. Even if you're thinking it in your head, like, don't say it. Like, go to your group text and like tell your friends, you know, I saw this girl, she looked big, whatever. Don't tell the person like in real life. It's just so fucked up. So anyways, I'm just feeling large and in charge. Baby is moving a ton, doing a lot, definitely has their cycle of like awake, asleep, you know, all those things. Like right now I'm like, oh, I haven't felt them kick in a minute. But like when you get to this point, the babies actually start to create their own schedule where like at some points they truly do like just nap during the day. So they're pretty active, like 3 a.m. Okay. We have parties every morning. And then they're pretty active like in the morning, nap time. And then I usually feel them again once I go to work out, which was like probably would have normally been a little bit ago, and then at night. So it's just interesting. Pregnancy's crazy, and I shared this on my Instagram last week, but I've gained over 30 pounds. I stepped on the scale about a week or 2 ago, and yeah, I saw that. I was like, holy fuck. I've never weighed myself during pregnancy because I don't care. I don't even know what prompted me to step on the scale. I think maybe it was for my Oura ring. Because I got an Oura ring, and so it asked me like what my weight was, and I wanted it to, you know, be accurate. And so I stepped on it, and I was like, holy fuck. I didn't let it like get to me because I know it's a season of life that's needed. Like, we have to gain weight to carry life, you know? And it's amazing how much happens to your body that you have no control over, like blood volume, amniotic fluid, just in general inflammation, you know, whatever. So when we look at a true weight when we're pregnant, I look at that, I'm like, wow, I've gained 30, when in reality, maybe I've gained like 15, maybe I've gained, you know, and again, it's still weight that is going to come off. And I say that because number one, I'm educated to get it off. Number two, I will work to get it off because I know where I feel comfortable in my body, and that is okay. But also, that's the beauty of carrying children, is like, you gain weight for a purpose, and it serves a purpose. And if you then, you know, get back to what you feel comfortable doing, typically your body can return suit to like what you've kind of looked like and mimicked before with some natural bodily changes. So I'm optimistic. I'm good. It doesn't mean we're not allowed to feel uncomfortable. It doesn't mean we can't bitch about it, you know, whatever. But it's one of those things where it's like, it is what it is. And, you know, can you lose weight while you're pregnant? Can you, you know, get into a deficit type of vibe? You know, you can. Some people will, maybe I wouldn't say lose weight during pregnancy, but they can eliminate, quote, unnecessary weight. But you have to be so strict to do that. You have to be strategic. And a lot of people would only be doing that for, maybe doctor suggestions or current physical needs that they already had to combat, you know, something like that. So it's just not something I'm interested in doing. And like, I'm like, it is what it is. It is my last pregnancy. Like, I know I've tossed around the idea of having a fourth, but I feel very content right now. Like, I remember being at this point with Archie and just like kind of continuing to mourn this idea that I would not have another. And I was like, wow, I'm really like, I'm done, you know, I'm done after this. And this time around, I really do feel this sense of kind of peace knowing this is my last, you know? And I think we'll always mourn this part of pregnancy, like, because it's such a cool experience that most of us don't, you know, it's not like we're like the Duggars. We're not having this experience 19 times. I mean, by that point, do you even know you're pregnant? Like, you just don't care. But at this point, I still have so much respect for the beauty of pregnancy. And so I'm really leaning into it. I'm enjoying it. I haven't documented half as much as I usually did with both the boys, but it was also two different situations. And, you know, how much you document your pregnancy doesn't determine how much you love that baby, you know, whatever. But I have noticed maybe a little bit of inability to connect with it, just not knowing what it is. But I have heard from a lot of other mothers who have done, quote, team green, you know, not finding out the gender, like sex, whatever word we're fucking using nowadays, when it comes out. And a lot of them have shared they felt kind of disconnected when it was in utero, but once it came out, they felt so like everything just aligned and made sense. So I'm kind of holding on to that. I mean, I still feel immense love for this baby. Like, I'm very grateful. Everything's healthy, good, you know, vibes. But I can see where knowing what it is, maybe having a name or some ideas, you can feel maybe that little bit of more internal connection. I don't know. We'll see. You guys give me your feedback if you've ever done it before, because it is definitely just a, you know, different experience. So anyway, that's it with me. Feeling good, feeling blessed, feeling stressed. Love that for me. And yeah, we have a good episode ahead. So let's go ahead and dive in a little bit to what we have to chat about before we get into the advice from DESB section. First off, 6 weeks to shreds is still open. If you are interested in joining my 6-week shred challenge, remind you, I'm not getting shredded. Okay. Well, I am the furthest thing from shredded, babe. Okay. I'm only gaining weight, but I'm going to be doing the challenge with you guys as I always do. I love standing by what I create. And when I continue to evolve and educate myself, like you guys evolve and get to educate yourself. And it's just such a fun space. And so this shreds challenge so far, we've literally almost all moms. And that is no disrespect to anyone who joins that's not a mom. It's just crazy to me how much my community has changed, because we've all just aged, you know, we've gotten older, our life has changed. And it's just so beautiful, because I remember some of you guys, even being just online friends, so to speak. You know, I know you've supported me. I've supported you, like, you know, whatever. A lot of us, we were just in college, you know? And so it's really cool to see us all kind of grow and age together, and all of us like having kids or like getting pregnant. It's just really quite amazing. So, very, very honored to have all of you guys who are mothers who choose to support DBFT and also choose to believe in DBFT and what we provide in education and like trusting us. You know, it's a huge step postpartum to trust someone, you know, with your health and workouts and stuff. So 6 weeks to shreds. You can use code BRUNCHWITHDESB still. We're technically closed to the public, but I always leave it open for you guys because like you're my podcast listeners. So if there's anyone who I'm going to extend the offer to, because FOMO is so fucking real, it's going to be you guys. Everyone else can kind of like suck my dick. You know what I mean? Like, honestly, too bad. You know, if I have you guys going out of your way to listen to me every week, you deserve a hell of a lot more, you know, especially dealing with my ass. Okay, so let's go first into some news we have. Meg the Stallion shows off her strong body on the cover of Women's Health magazine. So I thought this was really cool. Meg the Stallion, she was able to grasp the Women's Health magazine cover, which I'm just looking at these photos. I mean, she just looks so stunning. Meg the Stallion is like honestly so fucking hot. Like, she is just so gorgeous. I've said this since like the beginning. I think she's always been just stunning, beautiful. I will say she also, her big inspo is actually looking like a volleyball player, which I think is so cute. She mixes up trips to the gym with Pilates classes, beach workouts to achieve her look. She strives to look like a volleyball player. Strong legs is what she loves. You look like you can jump high. I love that look. She has actually been in the works collaborating with Planet Fitness now since I believe the beginning of this year, which is really cool. She's also done quite a few collaborations with like Nike and stuff. So she's definitely, like she works out 100%. And I mean, we know a lot of celebrities do, but she definitely like takes pride in doing it. And I love that. She said she cut out red meat, soda, and tuna melts from her diet to achieve her figure, but she still indulges carefully. I'm still a Southern girl, so I like to eat what I want. I just don't go overboard. And I really love that she said that because it's actually the epitome of health and coaching and stuff. It's like we are still allowed to treat ourselves. We don't have to be this slim, tiny figure. And some people naturally look like that. There's also no problem with looking like that because there's plenty of people who have issues like gaining weight, and there's plenty of people that have issues that don't, like with not losing weight. So all bodies are able to be celebrated no matter what. But I can really, with her platform, the people she has watching her, and being able for her to like just be kind of paving some positivity for not only like the body, but also thicker women, African-American women, any type of, celebrity or working artist who, I don't have the time. It's like, I think she's just a really good example of that. And, being able to find that moderation, knowing what she loves. So she looks amazing. The only thing that had me wondering was in Nicki Minaj's song, which is so funny, Bigfoot, which is when they were like rap battling each other. She said something in her lines, Nicki Minaj did, about basically calling Meg Thee Stallion out for having surgical procedures that she's like lied about. Does it fucking matter? Like, honestly, no. Like, Meg is still in the gym. She's still very much doing that. Health and wellness is her life. So I'm not going to sit here and like say, oh, it doesn't matter when you like had a BBL, but she's not out here selling programs. So I don't give a fuck. If she was using her body to sell, well, I guess she isn't. She is getting people to go to Planet Fitness and getting paid for that. But regardless, if she was selling like a booty program and she had a BBL, like, yeah, like that's kind of like annoying, right? But she's not in that market. She's making music about wet ass pussies. Like, I think the last thing we need to worry about is if her butt is real or not. That's all I'm saying. Next story, we had Morgan Wallen had an arrest this past week because he threw a fucking chair out of like a 6-story window, like downtown Nashville. There were 2 officers who were also in the vicinity of the chair, and he was also charged with a misdemeanor on disorderly conduct. So he had done this prior. So like back in like 2020, he had gone to a treatment center. And I remember that big video came out about him saying the hard R word, N word, and that was no bueno for him. Okay, so I will say it was kind of fucked up because now, ever since that 2020 moment of him saying that slur word, which he was also very drunk, and it was very distasteful. I will say the association of anyone who still listens to his music being quote racist, I think is also like kind of fucked up. I'm just going to say it. I'm not saying we have to approve of what he did, but if I still want to listen to a Morgan Wallen song, it doesn't mean that I myself would use that word that way or agree with the way he used that word, etc. Like blah, blah, blah. So that was the only negative back in 2020 that when he did that, it was like, ooh, if you like Morgan Wallen, you're a racist. It's like, I would beg to differ that actually has nothing to do with it. I think we're past that in most cases, but now we have this terrible controversy with him throwing out a fucking chair. And it sounds to me like the root of all of his issues come down to alcohol. And we talked last week about sobriety, specifically with Wyatt. And, Wyatt able to have sobriety and teach himself, oh yeah, I don't need alcohol. It's a good thing to know. And I don't think you really know if you have an issue until, number one, you either have people around you who are holding you accountable and saying, hey, I'm worried about you, you have a problem. But also you try it, and so I think Morgan Wallen needs to try to be sober, okay? And he might have in the past. I know he did go to a treatment center back in, again, 2020, 2021. And I think he needs that treatment center again. Okay. It sounds like he has a really big issue. And even the themes behind his music tends to kind of lead down this road of battling with, do I drink or do I not, or I'm bored and I'm going to drink a beer. Like, I don't know. I've seen addiction to alcohol in my family. And so it hits me very personally when I see people just excessively drink or think, oh, I don't have a problem. It's like, yeah, you fucking do. Like it, and it's a big turnoff to me. And so I hate that for him. And honestly, dude, you have a fucking chair falling from, like I said, I believe it was like the 6th floor. Bro, you could fucking impale someone. Chairs coming at that like velocity with that gravity, bro. That is not a joke. Well, we have 2 more stories, but this story specifically before we get into some Swift news. Brittany Cartwright said her and Jax Taylor only had sex twice in the past year before their split. So Britt and Jax, Jax Taylor, Jax from Vanderpump Rules, Brittany from Vanderpump Rules. She did an episode of The Valley. They opened up about their lack of intimacy during the year leading up to their split. We were having sex all the time when they first met. We didn't miss a day, etc. And then it was changed dramatically. I'm talking like twice in the past year. Another point, Taylor, 44, articulated his frustrations with their activity level in the bedroom. I feel like we got to schedule it. And now it's like, did we do it this month? Oh, okay. Sorry, I was like even misreading that. Taylor also spoke about their lack of intimacy during the one-on-one chat with Bravo cameras and took some of the blame, which he should. And at the end of the day, I believe the reason of their split, a lot of it did have to do also with cheating. So at the end of the day, maybe they were having sex twice. I know he wasn't. He was for sure getting it from somewhere. Like, sorry, no disrespect, but also full disrespect. He is definitely that kind of guy, and he has a track record. But also, they had a kid, and parenting changes a lot of things. Now, I'm definitely not saying twice a year. Like, that is kind of wild. I'm not going to lie. That's a kind of fucking crazy. But when you have a kid, sometimes, yeah, you do have to schedule it. Like, because time can pass. You both are exhausted. Like, I've talked about this on the podcast. There is nothing to be ashamed of, like, sex activity, sexual interest changing postpartum in the trenches of having young children. There's nothing to be ashamed about, nothing to be embarrassed about. There's also no correct number or incorrect number of how often you should be having sex. It's so up to interpretation of per relationship. Months ago, maybe like 6 months ago, I had Vanessa and Xander on the podcast, and Vanessa is a sex therapist and he is her husband, and they spoke directly about just like sex, and some people have it lower amounts of time, but their quality is so good that, they're satisfied. Some people have sex more often, but maybe the quality isn't always there, so they do it more often. Like, there's not a number that, we can ever give each other and be like, hey, you have a good sex life. It's so relative. To a new mom and a new dad, maybe having sex once a month, that is good for them right now. That doesn't mean it won't change, doesn't mean it's stuck, doesn't mean it's a problem. It's just something to like be open about. But I will say for them specifically, her opening up saying twice a year, we all know why it's twice a year. It's because he was like getting it from someone else. And that is just the tea. Okay. Last story I wanted to talk about was Jojo Siwa. Oh my God, this is so funny. We got into like a crazy rabbit hole this past week with Jojo Siwa on, what were we on? On YouTube. So we looked up, if you guys know Jojo Siwa's new song, Karma's a Bitch, Should've Known Better. Like literally I have to play, I can't play it on YouTube, sorry, because I will get demonetized. Okay, I don't even want to play it. Just look up Karma, this song by Jojo Siwa. Okay, she is really channeling not just her inner lesbian self, but very much a Miley Cyrus Bangerz era, which is fine. She even has paid a tribute and said, hey, I'm inspired by Miley Cyrus during this time. However, Miley Cyrus, I don't think ever went completely like gay. I don't even know if Miley Cyrus ever has come out as anything but straight. Like, I don't know if she's bisexual, maybe pansexual. I don't know. I don't think she's ever come out as anything other than straight. But regardless, she definitely had an era of her where she was just maybe experimenting, and no one owes, like, she owes no one an explanation. I'm just saying. So JoJo was very inspired, and she showed up to an award show just looking like a mixture of Miley Cyrus Bangerz with like the Kiss band, like Kiss, like from like the 70s, like a fucking rock artist. And then we've seen her just evolve in the past couple months. I would probably say the past year. She came out as gay after, you know, being a Dance Moms star, Disney. She, you know, just the Jojo Siwa brand, big ass bow, belligerent, fucking attitude. Like, just, she is crazy. All props to her. She runs on, like, she's like an Energizer bunny. But the past year, we've really seen this evolution of her leaning into her sexuality, also growing up. You know, she's been, let me take a sip, sorry. Cheers. Oh, fuck, that is so good. I'm sorry. You know, she's been nothing but a kid her whole life, and even her persona, she had to act so much younger than she even is now. You know, like, she had to play this character that is, it's not bad because, like, it's still her, but she had to, like, ramp it up, you know? Like, by no means is she fake. It was just a part of her that had to be more pronounced, you know, whatever. So, anyways, here we are. And now she is just fully encompassing her gayness. You know, is that even, I hope that's not like a slander. I hope that's not slander. Whatever. I'm just saying, like, she is just, she loves being gay. And you know what? We fucking love that she is gay. I love that for her. But Karma's a bitch. Her song, I will be so honest, it's so bad. It's like not a good song. Like, it's kind of catchy, but it's overall, it's like, it's not a good song. But the music video I watched, White and I watched, and I mean, I was just kind of jaw dropped. There was a lot of humping, lots of humping. The choreography wasn't like bad. Like, it was very impressive. Again, Jojo Siwa is a dancer. Like, she's been a dancer. It was impressive, but I mean, I remember I was looking at the TV and I was just kind of like, oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. They're still humping. They're still humping. They're still humping. Like, it was some crazy choreography. So then we ended up going down like Jojo Siwa lore and looking at her old music videos from like even 5 years ago when she was like a kid, even more of a kid than she is now. And then we started looking up, like, did her parents steal her money? Because, like, she is so fucking rich. I don't even think a lot of people understand the amount of fucking money Jojo Siwa pulls. She is crazy rich. And the weird thing is, if she were to walk down the street, I would argue kids would recognize her. But I don't think she's like an A-list celebrity where like a typical male or female walking to work would know who she is. Like, she has a very specific genre and like niche people. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe she has evolved, but she was on Call Her Daddy this week. I've not watched the episode. I really do want to. But she kind of goes into like some of her relationships and growing up and all this stuff. So anyways, she was on Call Her Daddy. That's the main like story of it. But if you guys have not gone down the lore of Jojo Siwa and just really understanding like her branding and like how she came to be and like where she started, like, I mean, good for her. But at what point do you sacrifice your whole childhood? I don't know. I just, you know, I go back and forth. Like, would you ever want, like, would you really ever want that? Would you really ever want to be that rich, that famous? Because I'll tell you what, I have a minuscule support system here. Like, you know what I mean? My following is small. My reach isn't big, you know? Like, and when I get one negative remark, it shatters me. Like, I'm like, no one knows who I am. Like, whatever, you know, because there's only the perception of you at the end of the day. Like, and you can't control that, especially when you don't like meet someone in real life or like, there's just so much that social media, as much as you want to be transparent and like yourself, you will never still know the other person, you know, like it just doesn't happen. There's no possible way. So I want to fucking crawl into a hole and die when I hear one person doesn't like me. And I think most of us would have that mentality. You know, we're not like hardened in that way. But to hear that from the age of like being like 6 years old, 8 years old, developing, like I think of the D'Amelio sisters too, Addison Rae, having people fucking hate you starting at 15, I would be so fucked up. And Jojo Siwa has been in this industry since she was a fucking child. Like literally she was a working child on Dance Moms. So I'm excited to listen to her interview because I want to dive in more to just the child stardom. You know, we've watched Quiet on Set. We've seen people emerge. And, you know, at the end of the day, money can fix anything. In some cases, I'm kind of making a joke. But it doesn't mean shit doesn't hurt still, you know? And I just couldn't imagine being at that level of fame. I mean, I even think of like some of the influencers online that I follow or that I know of or whatever. And I'm just like, I don't even want that many people ever watching me ever, you know, like I have earned and learned to have so much gratitude for the people that I have now. It doesn't mean that some days I feel like, oh, I wish I could reach more people, because I do, like, I love what I do, and I want for like what I do. I want every mom to feel empowered. I want whatever. But then I'm like, oh my God, but I don't want what comes with that. No fucking thank you. So I'm going to watch that Jojo Siwa interview. I'm going to report back next week. I wish I would have watched it before I did this recording, but it just didn't work out with my time. So we're going to, you know, keep rowing the boat here with DESB. So before we get into our advice column, I did want to remind you guys to sign up for BetterHelp therapy. If you have never had a therapist, or you keep telling yourself, oh, I don't need one, it's probably a sign that you do need one, okay? I've been with BetterHelp and using BetterHelp since 2021, okay? 2020, I had Maddox, fell into what I now know was for sure postpartum depression, postpartum anxiety, and I got my therapist back in March of 2021. And during that time, I didn't think it would do much for me because I was just like telehealth, you know? I was like, oh, this is kind of a piece of crap. But I have transformed through BetterHelp. I've been able to get the help I needed postpartum. I took a break, and then I got the diagnosis with Archie when I was pregnant again. So I restarted up my therapy, kept it till about probably 6 months postpartum, took another break, got pregnant at 18 months postpartum, started up therapy again. So it's really helped me personally during my pregnancy and postpartum phases. But I could use it all the time. You know, any of us could. So BetterHelp is a great online therapy program. They have different ways that you can also pay. They have different ways that you can save. For example, you can use code DESB or go to betterhelp.com/DESB, DESB, for 10% off your first month. I'm passionate about it because I don't have the energy to even leave my house, nonetheless this bed. So BetterHelp is the answer for all of that. So if you're curious about BetterHelp, or you want to look into it more, or maybe you have someone that, you know, you want to reach out to and just be like, hey, been thinking of you. I listened to this podcast. You know, she shared BetterHelp. Have you ever tried it? Like, you never know who you could save, and maybe not like fully physically, but like mentally, by just bringing something up to them. So betterhelp.com/DESB for 10% off your first month, or you can just go to betterhelp.com and in the coupon code box, click DESB, or it'll ask you like who sent you, and I'll give you a little drop down menu, and you can choose the Brunch with DESB podcast. All right, advice from DESB, the one that shouldn't be giving an advice because she's constantly depressed and she's constantly stressed. Just kidding. I'm kind of kidding about both of those. I'm really trying to lean into be where your feet are. I've said it for years, but I don't think I've actively followed it, and I feel like a piece of shit for that. I'm very much a forward thinker. I'm sure a lot of us are. We have anxiety because we fear the future. We fear the unknown. And I am trying so hard. It's an active mindset to work on it. It's not easy and it's not fun, but I'm trying so hard to be able to sit with myself every day and go, I have what I need today. And that is all I need to worry about. You know what I mean? And then tomorrow comes, I have what I need today, and I'll worry about tomorrow. I'm really trying to eliminate so much forward thinking because it's really drove me to therapy. That's why I fucking am seeing my therapist weekly again. I was going bi-weekly, like 2 times a month. Now I'm like, I need you every week. So I hope that maybe that was helpful, that little intro there, but we're moving on. Dear DESB, I have a 2.5-year-old. He has only ever been watched by my mom for maybe a handful of times. I'm getting to that point where I need a little break. I am a stay-at-home, work-from-home mom. Vibes, feel you there. A few weekends ago, my mom and dad came over to watch him so my hubby and I could go out. He cried for the first 45-ish, maybe a little less minutes when we left. How can I get him past this stage so I can go out by myself or with my hubby and actually enjoy the time instead of having extreme guilt? Sincerely, a lost mama. So the biggest thing I would say for that is like you just have to do it more often. And also realize like babies are going to cry. Toddlers are going to cry. Your kids are going to cry for you. They want you. You're the best. You're the fucking best. So the biggest thing is to continue to get them warmed up to the idea of you leaving. Do it more often. Maddox was an extreme COVID baby, as well as me being extreme postpartum anxiety. So I didn't want him going anywhere. Okay. So he wasn't even watched really by anyone until he was over a year old. And that was hard to transition into because he was like, holy fuck, mom, why are you leaving me? You know, whatever. But once we got past it, it was good. And then also once I had Archie, oh my God, the second one, you're like, see ya. He's 1 week old. We left. You know what I mean? I'm like, see ya, girl. Well, boy, you know, you get it. But I'm like, peace out. Have fun. So the more you do it, the better it is. Leave them with crafts, distract them. I also, as much as I hate it, because I have intrusive thoughts, I try not to bring attention to when I leave the home during that stage, like when they just wanted me. I just left. Like, it's like just out of sight, out of mind, distract them and leave the house. Don't feel like you have to, bye, honey, see you in a few. We'll be back. We'll see you in a few. Just fucking leave, okay? Tell them goodbye like 30 minutes earlier. No, you're not going to talk to him again, and then like go. But the more that you can just do it, the more you can get the help and like the support to just like go out, the more that you'll enjoy it. Hey, Des, need some advice here, sister. Also, very sad your podcast will be ending soon, but I'm excited what's to come for you and Wyatt. Also, TBD on that, because, like, again, we're just kind of maneuvering. We're just riding the wave right now. Anyways, I need to know if I'm being paranoid or crazy here, but there have been several occasions where I've found a used towel in the washer. And just to clarify, it smells like jizz. I've been engaged for about 6 months now and need to know if it's a normal thing for my fiance or significant other to jerk off by themselves. Me being paranoid is wonder if he's jerking off to someone specific or wants to do it. Not sure if he's attracted to me or not. Please help. I need some reassurance. Thank you. Sincerely, the confused fiance. So if you're watching on YouTube, I'm cackling because of not only that, but also the fact that my camera just died. I think I forgot to turn my fan on, and I think the camera overheats because of the lights in this room. I'm still getting used to the temperature. I used to be in the basement, so it would it would stay very cool down there in my camera when it died. So fuck. I'm sorry, guys. I'm honestly just, please know this is very stressful for me, like doing all of this, trying to record, trying to edit it, and I told you last week I don't have a podcast editor right now because I'm trying to like get rid of that expense and just do it myself and learn. So I'm sorry. Fuck, that's so embarrassing. I hate that. Okay, so first off, I know for a fact that men will jack off by themselves. Okay, like that's very common. What they're jacking off to, what they're deciding to, herky jerky with is not sure, okay? I don't think we could ever expect men to just like not jerk off, especially like our husbands or fiancés. Like I think it's very normal, but I do think we can hold space in our mind to hope that they're thinking of us or whatever. But let's be for real. We've all read some smut. Okay, we've all read some books. We've all read something or seen something that gets us a little turned on. And it could be watching someone else have sex, but like we're internalizing our own relationship, right? So that's what I kind of lean into. I'm like, you know what? Wyatt's going to do what he's going to do. I'm going to do what I'm going to do. but it's not out of like disrespect of our partner. And I think at the end of the day, you just have to kind of trust that. That is interesting, like the whole towel thing, just because, you know, I don't know, you just have like a cum towel laying around for you specifically. Like I understand you and your fiance like having a towel by your bedside, knowing, you know, maybe what goes down at night, but to just have one for like your own solo expedition is wild. I wouldn't be upset about it though. I'm going to be honest. I also wouldn't bring it up to him. It is what it is. It's natural. It's part of life. Listen, I'd also rather have my partner whacking it than going out and cheating. You know what I'm saying? So whack away, whack away. Next up, I've been talking to this guy since December. We used to work together 7 years ago and we reconnected on Tinder. We both discussed initially we wanted a relationship and he said he wanted to, quote, do this the right way, quote, and take me out on a proper date. The catch is Mr. Man doesn't have a job until now. He was in the process of getting a job in law enforcement and I knew it would take a while, so I decided to wait until he started working to take me out. I suggested date ideas that don't cost money. He refused. He said he wanted to take me to dinner and it be a proper date. I would also ask him to do random things with me, like go to the store. An excuse was always, I don't have money. Like, okay, I'm asking you to come with me, not buy me stuff, silly. Anyways, we text every single day and we've hung out 3 times to hook up, which I'm not really mad about because, down DTF. Okay. He has 2 kids. We both currently live with family, so it's hard to hook up at any time. As I'm typing this out, I'm starting to realize how dumb I sound. Anyways, continuing, he starts this job next week, anxious to see if he follows through with the date he promised months ago. Sincerely, a dumb bitch who possibly wasted a few months on a man who possibly ain't shit. Okay, so the first place my thought went was, is he still dating the baby mama? Or like, is he still with his ex or whatever the situation is? Because it's kind of giving catfish, like where they're constantly finding reasons to like not meet up. But meet up enough to fuck, like, I don't know. First off, I will need an update. Okay. I will need an update first and foremost, because to me, there are plenty of, free dates. We could go walk at the park. We could go, fucking sightseeing. We could, whatever. And also, who's to say that you don't want to tell him, hey, I want to go get dinner with you. Let me cover it. You got next time. Like, I understand the idea of him wanting to take you out first, but you're going to let that waste months? I don't know. That ain't sitting right with me. So I'm going to need to know what the update and the status quo of that is, because that is confusing to me. All right, next up, a little bit of trigger warning here for miscarriage. Just giving you all a second. I'm going to go ahead and take a sip because, again, if this bothers you, please fast forward. I recently had to go to the hospital for vaginal bleeding and cramping. At the hospital, the doctor told me my fiance and I were having a miscarriage. Those words were extremely hard to hear and I instantly lost it. I'm struggling with the fact that my fiance went to work the next day like nothing happened. I feel like he would have wanted to stay home with me, so I didn't question if he was going to go to work the next morning, but it completely shattered my heart. The next day, while my fiance was at work, I got a call from my doctor telling me I have a subchromic hemorrhage, and I was probably not having a miscarriage, even though it's possible the hemorrhage could cause one. I was put on bed rest and told I need to take it easy. Texted my fiance and asked him to call me when he could take a short break, and he said he'd call me in an hour. Well, he never called me. And I asked again if he was going to, and he said he got busy. And while he can get busy at work, he is the general manager of a small gym, and now in no way is he busy where he couldn't take my call for 10 minutes. Currently struggling with the cramping and bleeding, yet I've still no idea if I had a miscarriage or not. I'm just starting to feel more so hurt by my fiance, and I feel resentful of what I feel like was him being unsupportive. Needing advice and not sure how to navigate these feelings I'm having. Sincerely, an emotionally drained mama. That is, okay, first off, let's even just say that you don't have, let's just say you didn't have a miscarriage, okay? Let's just say it really did turn out to be this hemorrhage, right? Okay. Number one, still traumatic to even have that experience of someone telling you it was a miscarriage. Like, that's a pretty bold thing to say happened, to then trace back and be like, just kidding. it was a hemorrhage. You know, like that's a really extreme feeling that you still had emotionally. And that is still a very real emotion to process, you know. So say that right now, you know, you didn't have one, but that's what they told you. Regardless, I am shocked at how your fiance reacted. I don't know. I can't sit here and say, oh, is it easy for him to get the day off? Could he have called off? Could he have had support? Could he have gone in late? Like, I don't know what his situation is, so I can't speak on that. But I will say, if it was Wyatt, I would hope that he could at least reach out to his employer, sharing what had happened with the information at the time that you had. And again, ask for some grace of, can I come in a few hours late, or can I have someone cover my shift that day, or whatever. And then if it comes down to my boss saying, hey, no, sorry, we need you at work, then okay, you know, thanks for trying, love ya, you know, whatever. We still got to show up, I get it. But your feelings are valid. The only thing I would say, and again, I always like to play devil's advocate, because I think a lot of men really do have good in their heart. I just think sometimes men are fucking stupid, okay? They don't rationalize the way we do. They don't analyze the way we do. And that's okay. We're made to be different creatures. So I would give him the grace of being in a position where, you know, you don't, until that ever happens to you, you don't know what support your partner would need. Could that have been communicated? Sure. But was it? No. So moving forward, if this communication is made between both of you, you share how you feel, and you have a talk about it, maybe it's something where you can sit down and say, hey, luckily it was just a hemorrhage, but here's how I felt after we did get the initial diagnosis of a miscarriage. Can we talk about it? Because if that were to actually ever happen, I need you to know the ways I needed to be supported. And at that point, again, I think it just comes down to communication. So I can understand the resentment. I can understand the emotion immediately of like almost being like feeling almost like betrayed. You know, it's like, oh, so you would just like go to work. Like, I get it. But if it wasn't communicated of how to handle that situation, men aren't mind readers. And we got to stick it to them sometimes. So I'm hoping that it continues to only come back a hemorrhage for you, but maybe that can prompt a really important conversation that you guys need to have in your relationship to know moving forward, going into what will then in the future be husband and wife, how you would need to be supported in that situation. And now having kind of God, this sounds terrible, like a mock trial of that situation, which is, again, that's so terrible. I'm so sorry you even heard that, with the possibility of it being incorrect, just because it's such a traumatic thing to hear and process, and then to be told, oh, just kidding. It's like a doctor coming in and be like, hey, you have cancer, and then like leaves and then comes back and they're like, oh, just kidding. Oh my God, fuck, it was strep throat. Like, you're still fucking traumatized by the idea of hearing the C word, you know, like whatever. So I that also is not comparable by any means. I'm just you get it. Okay. You get it. Sending loves. Next up, my husband and I have always had an active sex life. However, 2 kids later, sometimes it feels like we're going through the motions, not really connecting like we used to. Out of the blue and without talking to me first, my husband purchased a strap-on and a male chastity cage. I'm all for, quote, trying things once, quote, but I'm feeling really taco about getting down and dirty. What should I do? To peg or not to peg? Okay, first off, that sign off is fucking crazy. That is hilarious. Yeah, wow. That's crazy to just fucking come out of left wing from, hey, look what I ordered. Like that is wild. Especially if you mention that you feel like you've kind of been off the past couple years or something, you know, which again, going back to the conversation we had a little bit earlier in this episode, it's okay to go through periods of drought. It's okay to go through sexual changes and hormones. I mean, it's even for like us women, you know, as we age and as we grow, our hormones change so much. We prepare for menopause. Shit is just always fucking changing with us. So to have spirals of high sex drive and then low sex drive, like, it's so fucking science based. And I wish, if anything, more men were taught about it and like understood it. So anyways, that's wild. I gonna be so real. I don't know if I could ever do that. I think I would feel so awkward and like borderline embarrassed, and also like that is just not my style, where I would be worried that I would actually like invest myself into trying it, and then I would be so turned off that it would like then ruin my sex life. Like honestly, I would be scared to do it and literally be turned off and then like ruin everything. Like for real. That would be a huge barrier for me. If you have an update, you'll have to tell me what you did. I feel like at that point, if husband brings it up, hey, I got this, I feel like maybe you compromise. Like, hey, why don't we introduce like a toy first? Like, why don't we look for something together? Like, I feel like you can get out of it by maybe, again, making it like a team sport. Like, hey, I love that you got that. As you're like choking back laughter. But what would you say if we tried this first? Like, maybe make it more sexy. I don't know. I'm guessing. I'm thinking of how I would react. I'd be like, oh, I love the excitement you have for what we could do together. Why don't we start here? I've been really thinking about this, and like making it sexy. I don't know. You'll have to let me know, because honestly, again, at that point, fuck that. Dear Des, this is so early to even talk about or stress about, but I want your advice, please. I'm pregnant with my first baby, and when I told my family, I found out my sister, who is 11 years older than me, is also pregnant with her fourth. Wow. I was so excited to share this journey with her. She is my best friend, and I have someone to do this with while it's my first time. Such a blessing. Although she's mentioned a joint baby shower. Oh, immediately no. Is it so selfish of me that I'm unsure if I want to do this? Our due dates are 2 days apart. Wow, that's also crazy. So it makes sense we have the same family. It makes sense we have the same families we would invite. Not wanting all her church friends to be at my shower that I barely know, but I get it. Plus, this is so fucked up, but it's my first baby. It's my first shower. I want to be able to ask for nice things like a stroller, crib, seat, etc. I know it sounds selfish writing this, but I'm worried about ending up buying a lot of the stuff on my own. She doesn't have much baby stuff left because there's a 9-year age gap from her youngest. I love my sister more than anyone, but this is something I just wouldn't know how to approach. Please help. Sincerely, a selfish baby mama. Yo. No. Like, immediately no. Immediately fucking no. Like, literally no. I am not having a joint baby shower. Now, if it was like my second or my third, and me and my sister wanted to do like a baby sprinkle together, because like, ha ha ha, absolutely, like, whatever, fuck it, you know. But to have my own moment with my first child, and that being her fucking fourth, like, respectfully, fuck off. I understand that there's an age gap, so okay, she can have a little diaper party, okay, whatever. You guys do a little shenanigan that way, but like, I want, meaning you, I want the trim, like, I want the tablecloths and the decor. Like, you deserve that. Your first baby is so important. It's such a huge milestone. It's such a huge like life change. And that doesn't mean your first, or that doesn't mean your second, your third, your fourth baby isn't important, but like, there's a reason why typically you only have one baby shower, okay? Like, it's normal. With Maddox, I had a baby shower, but it was like all virtual, and we only had about like probably 8 people like in real life, because again, it was during COVID. And as much as I honor that time, I have actually thought about having a baby sprinkle with this baby and just doing like a very small, like, intimate gathering with some friends, and just doing like some diapers and wipes and like having dinner, you know, whatever, doing a cute little like grill out. I don't know. Just because I feel like I got robbed of that experience in a separate way with COVID. But with you, you know, having this opportunity to have your first in this experience, no, like, I'm sorry, no. And also those people around you who you're saying like you would want them to like come and, you know, doing it all at once, whatever. I would argue, how close in vicinity are they? Right? Maybe let's even just say the furthest person away has to drive an hour. Okay, if you don't want to come, then fucking send me the gift. You know, like, don't think of other people's ease of travel for what is the biggest day of your life. That's how I felt with my wedding. When we had our wedding in Ohio, a lot of my family from Michigan didn't come. I was like, okay, I told you a year in advance, and obviously you don't feel like making time to come or make the travel. So thanks. Bye. I'm not paying for your plate. Thanks. So kind of the same vibes. Like if they for some reason don't want to travel twice, then fine. Sorry. This is my day. You know, it's a big moment. So I think you deserve to do whatever the fuck you want. Okay. And I don't think that's selfish either. And the way that I would tee it up is I'd be like, I don't like your theme. No, I'm just kidding. But I would maybe just share with like, you know, maybe your mom or like and your sister together or whatever. Maybe you're out to dinner or lunch or something. Hey, you know, I've been thinking a lot about the baby shower, and I think, you know, I have some like I have a separate friend group I really want to invite, and with this being my first, you know, I really want to have this like day to remember with, you know, my first baby, and then bring up your sister, kind of like, you know, say her name's Beth, kind of like you, Beth, you know, you had your first baby shower and it was just kind of all about you and the baby and how special that moment was for you. And I really long to have that too with my first. Okay, that's it. Because guess what? That also means you're not trying to be the center of attention at her baby shower, you know? So like, toodaloo. I don't know. I just think if my sister told me that, I'd be like, you know what? I totally get it. Like, I don't blame you. Let's figure out something else, whatever. So don't stress about it too much. So yeah, that's all I have for advice. I would love to do more, but honestly, by the time I read them and give my 2 cents, I talk way too much. I'm just yapping. And here we are an hour later, already done with the episode. So let me know what you guys think. Let me know how you guys feel. And, you know, can't wait to keep rocking. I love you 1%ers who hang out with me till the end of the episode. I just got to say, I see you. Not really. I actually don't see you. I don't know who you are, but if you are who you are, let me know. I wish that this would have recorded the whole episode. So again, I'm very sorry about that. I got to keep trying to test out the temperature in my room and like what shit needs to like be like, because I can't have it dying all the time, you know, but when it overheats, I have to wait at least 20 to 30 minutes for it to like cool down and work again. I don't have that time in my day. Okay. So love you guys. Hope you have a beautiful Sunday. Thanks for hanging with me, and we'll chat soon.